All right. Patrick CC, the most insane scandal that sounds fake, and it's Poopgate.
So strange and disgusting occurred that it's hard to believe. On a hot summer day in 2004, an incident so strange and disgusting occurred that it's hard to believe it actually happened. Chicago's Little Lady Ferry was doing one of its regularly scheduled tours down the Chicago River. Tourists on the top deck were observing the skyline when they looked up and noticed a large bus suspiciously
What the fuck is going on my YouTube?
Parked on the Kinsey Street Bridge. As the ferry passed under the bridge, 800 pounds of human poop rained down on the ferry, drenching.
What type of shit is that? You're sitting there and you're just chilling out on a nice summer day, a nice summer evening, and then out of nowhere you just fucking have a whole bunch of shit raining on you out of all things. Like, I could understand like water or something, like as a ferry, or like fucking oil maybe, but shit? Did they like just all compile their shit together so that way you could get drenched in shit? Like, what the fuck?
The passengers in literal human filth. People screamed and vomited as they tried to escape the unbearable.
I think I'm jumping into the water at that point. I think that's the only logical conclusion, is just to jump straight into the fucking water.
Smell, but they had nowhere to go. The bus immediately sped off after dumping its load, and if it weren't for two extremely important pieces of evidence, we may have never known why it happened, how it happened, or who to blame.
So you're saying some random dude one day just put a whole bunch of shit onto people? I mean, like, it sounds like some middle schoolers doing a prank, but I feel like they would light the bags on fire at first, at least.
For what would eventually be known as Poopgate, or the Dave Matthews Band Chicago River Incident.
I think Poopgate sounds way more funny, but Poopgate sounds like a poop ring, like they're into like super scat with like minors or some shit. That would be crazy.
Around 1:00 p.m. on Saturday, August 8th, 2004.
Yeah, some golden shower shit, bro. Like R. Kelly, except if he was into poop. Like, imagine this. Like, imagine Epstein was just like really into fucking poop. Like, you go to the island, there's a whole bunch of minors, and then they shit in their fucking diaper. Then he just shows it at other people's faces or something.
A line of 120 people began boarding the ferry called Chicago's Little Lady, with the tickets going for an affordable $25. It's the perfect way to relax and see the city. The passengers are a diverse group of people. Senior citizens, journalists, mothers, fathers, and children file in for a memorable experience.
That's just terrible. You go hop on a ferry with your fucking cousin, your cousin, your mother, all y'all go on this. It's your fucking birthday. You finally get to go on a ferry, see the city and like the nice waters and shit. And then out of nowhere, there's a bunch of shit on your head. And not seagull shit. I'm talking about human feces. That's disgusting.
A newspaper reporter, Brett McNeil, is using it as a distraction for his complicated relationship. I had a girlfriend whose ex.
We basically hit it like made in the miss. Oh, so he was having a fucking affair date. He was having a fucking affair date, and then out of nowhere, shits all of them. This would never happen in Bosnia. Fuck.
Was visiting from Boston. We were just looking for something to do. I was a newer Tribune reporter, and so worked a lot of those Sunday shifts, but
yeah, no, she's never going on a date again. Like, you want to rekindle your love with this lady. You loved her so much, and then out of nowhere, there's shit on both of you. Like, either A, you guys are going to kiss after that, not with the shit on your lips, obviously, but you're going to be, like, way closer and laugh about it, or B, you guys are never going to talk again because of how embarrassing and disgusting that is.
Had a rare Sunday off. We decided to do a boat tour.
Also, is it cow feces or is it human? Because if it's like cow, it's manure. It's not as bad. But if it's fucking like human, ill.
It was truly beautiful. Perfect weather. At that time, the river was not nearly as busy as it is now with just pleasure craft. It's such a beautiful day that all 120 passengers.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Hey, thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Hey.
Are considering walking out on the top deck to soak in the sun. As the ferry makes its way down the river, people are anticipating over 50 architectural landmarks to observe on their trip, including the Wrigley Building, the Willis and Tribune Towers, and Marina City. Chicago.
I've never heard of any of those things in my life. Maybe it's because I'm not like well versed and I don't go outside, but like, Who the fuck wants to see that shit? It's a big tower.
was
I thought we was gonna see some beautiful shit, like some fucking wildlife centers. Those are cool.
incredibly proud of being an industrial heartland, and they've made efforts to preserve the older structures like the Kinsey Street Railroad Bridge, one of the
Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. A old fucking bridge. My grandparents, great grandparents probably used that bridge. Oh my god. Like, what are you supposed to say to that shit?
first of its kind to raise up and let larger boats pass through the river. It's no longer in use, but it is technically still functional and maintained as a historic landmark that's over 100 years old. It has since been replaced by the Kinsey Street Road Bridge that sits right next to it. It's important to note that the driving surface of the bridge is not made of concrete or asphalt, but rather a steel grating to prevent
Oh yeah, I've seen those steel gratings before. I always thought that they were really bad because if you drop your phone would just be fucking dead. And they were also always really uncomfortable to walk on. I was wondering why they would use this out of anything. Like, out of anything you could use using this fucking steel gratings always seemed ass.
the buildup of heavy rain and snow. It's a genius feat of engineering. The water falls from the sky but passes through the holes in the bridge to the river below.
Oh, wait, that's good engineering. That's actually good engineering.
And as a result, cars don't hydroplane and crash.
Fair
It's
enough.
safer for everyone, but unfortunately, the holes in the bridge's surface was what created the opportunity for
For Poopgate.
the day in Chicago's
The shitty day. Yeah, the real shitty day.
history. At approximately 1:18 p.m., Chicago's Little Lady is heading towards the bridge. Everybody was sitting
Why do names always have some weird ass boat names? Chicago's Little Lady. Little St. James. Like, islands and boats always have some weird ass names. Even people's cars. Like, cars always have to have like some sexy ass name. Like, imagine somebody named their car fucking Myrtle. Margaret. They named their fucking car Buford. Like, they name them some fucking granny names, some grandpa names, my nigga. That shit sounds ass.
on the deck
Your car just like gets minus 20% good sounding in either. Like, you start rumming the engine, usually that's like now that's just like
in plastic chairs,
busy.
like deck chairs. Nobody was downstairs. Up above, passengers near the back of the Little Lady see a large black bus began traveling across the Kinsey Street Bridge. It temporarily stops and blocks out the sun at
that's just fucking, what's the point of that? What's the point of owning a bus just to put a whole bunch of shit on people?
the bow
Like, is this like some type of prank video?
of the
Was it for funsies? Like,
ferry.
what if that dude has $1,000 suit on like he's Poochie, dog?
Everything seemed normal until a cascade of liquid began spraying from what looks
Oh, it's the liquid shits too. Oh, that shit straight diarrhea.
like the back of the bus. To guests like McNeil, this was weird but likely harmless. I was confused about what it was. I thought it was either a street
Hi. Anyways. Can jump, nigga.
sweeper or one of those trucks that you'll see with the big water tanks, and they use them to water the flower beds and the flowers along Michigan Avenue. That was my initial thought. Suddenly, the boat started traveling through what he
So they used a flower bed that's used. What the fuck? They used a flower bed that's used for, I don't know, fucking flowers, and then use that for shit. What's the point?
called the Maid of the Mist. One drop fell and then another until the boat was almost completely covered.
That's fucking disgusting. That's fucking disgusting. I'm good, but this video is making my stomach hurt. Why is it over here like they're in a fucking chocolate factory, dog? Charlie never did this shit. What the hell? See what I did there? Shit. Oh my god.
Covered in 800 pounds or 80 to 100 gallons of fluid
82 pounds of just straight boo? Ugh.
in just a few short seconds.
What
Now,
the
the
hell?
graphic that we have created is exaggerating. It probably looked more like brownish yellow raindrops, not necessarily large chunks of turds falling from the sky.
I'm glad it didn't look at that at least, bro.
And since there are no real photos or videos of the incident, we don't actually know what it looked like. This all happened pretty quickly. It's like
You're telling me nobody took a picture of this shit? Like there's a whole bunch of people just covered in boo-boo, and then nobody took a picture? Like,
a car crash.
In an era where everyone takes pictures of everything, let's be so for real.
Things slow down. It's bewildering. Your mind is trying to process what it's just seen. The boat continued past the bridge, the bus disappeared south, and then there was like an unmistakable smell. Passengers
What is that? That shit. You got it in my mouth. Everyone just starts throwing up each other.
began to look at the brown and yellow liquid that was covering their bodies head to toe. Then
Ew, everyone's just covered in boo, bro. What the fuck?
it hits them. The liquid that's been poured all over their faces, their clothes, getting in their eyes and mouths and
Imagine just straight.
ears is literal liquid. Some begin to scream.
At least it wasn't a solid. At least it wasn't a solid.
Some yell in a fit of rage, while others run blindly in random directions before.
Why don't they just jump off the boat? I'm jumping off the boat. I'm jumping off the boat and taking off all my clothes. I don't care if it's public indecency, my nigga. I'm not being covered in fucking shit. I mean shit, dog. Like, this is what I'm doing. I look up. Like we're all there. I see that there's a whole bunch of people getting covered in like some random shit at the front. Either A, if I'm at the back, I'm jumping off of the fucking boat. Or B, I see that everyone's getting covered in shit. I don't make it. I was in the middle. There's shit all over me. I look at myself. I smell it. Take off my fucking shirt. Like, just like this. I jumped straight into the fucking water. I'm not being covered in shit, my nigga. What shit is that? I'm not being covered in shit. Like, immediately, bro. The shirt's coming off, and I'm jumping into the fucking water. His clothes are getting destroyed, my nigga. And I would go down to my underwear, too, but I don't wear them, bitch. Free ball hit it.
Or vomiting all over the upper and lower decks. One woman tries to console her baby as the sewage continues to cling and dry all over them, while the elderly and handicapped panic as they are unable to move away from their chairs, caked in cursed sludge from the mysterious bus. The ferry's 120 passengers are trapped on an island completely covered in human waste.
They're not trapped. Just jump into the fucking water. I know some of you can't swim. I hope that water doesn't have alligators or some shit, because that day I'm getting eaten.
And there's nowhere to go. Up on the bridge, the brown and yellow liquid is so thick that some remains on the steel.
Why did he have to animate that shit? What the fuck is wrong with him? Ew.
Grating to get picked up by rolling tires. Lynn LaPlante, who was driving on the bridge,
I can smell it through the screen. It's Poopgate, bro. It's Poopgate.
describes it as an
To explain exactly what's going on right now. That you rode a ferry, and then some dude using a bus flower bed just randomly dumped a whole bunch of diarrhea on your fucking face. There's no other way to explain it. Like, it's as random as you would think. Like, you're just literally on a fucking boat ride. You're having the happiest day of your life, your birthday and everything, and then you just got fucking Sonic. You decide to go get you a Sonic milkshake. It's your favorite. It's your favorite little comfort food. A Sonic milkshake with some fucking tater tots. You eat them, bitches, popping them up. You're finally happy. It's 3 p.m. You get on that boat. You're like, oh my God, I finally get to see the city that I just came to for my birthday. I went to Chicago. I saw all the good stuff. Got some nice pizza. Got my favorite comfort meal. This day couldn't be any better. And then shit's all over you. There's doo-doo all over you. You smell like boo-boo. And there's nowhere for you to go because you didn't learn how to take swim lessons when you were 7 years old at the YMCA. GG. Just fucking GG. Do you have a BBC? That's like asking a woman, hey, how big your titties? Like, what bra size are you? Like this has to count as like this has to count as fucking sexual harassment, bro.
Escapable nightmare. She began vomiting outside of the car window and swerving violently as she was driving. She later described it as a new form of hell.
Making matters worse, Lynn was pregnant and eternally nauseous.
She was pregnant. That baby ate shit.
All of a sudden, it was like driving into a brick wall of smell. I don't know how else to put it. We didn't see anything visually, but when we got out of the car, it was all along the side of our car. And in the wheel wells, just like raw sewage.
Yeah, no, so what happens is you fucking grab the biggest air freshener you can find, shove that bitch up your nose, spray Febreze all over the car and in the car. You fucking spray Febreze in your mouth, wear a fucking plague doctor mask, dog, put a gas mask on top of that shit so you're double wielding, and then you ride over to the nearest fucking pennies that you can find, get your car washed immediately, and then you blow that bitch up. Fuck it. No, fuck it. Blow that bitch up. I'm sure insurance will cover that shit. It's covered in shit, so they have to cover that shit. Like, come on, that's disgusting.
It's covered.
Back down below, the captain of the ferry orders the bar to give away free drinks to try and calm down the poop-covered crowd.
What the fuck? Nigga, free drinks ain't solving this shit. I'm taking off all my clothes and y'all seeing straight girth, nigga. Like, what?
She also puts the ferry in full throttle to get back to the port as soon as...
Like, I'm not wearing shit-covered clothes, dog. I'm taking off my... Actually, no, I'm not taking off my shoes. I'm not taking my sneakers off because they're covered in poo.
Possible, but nothing drowns out the screams of dozens of waste-drenched victims. As
you're some grown-ass people, bro. Y'all can't keep screaming for that long. Y'all acting like some children.
soon as they return, the crowd flees the boat and onto the docks. All of the money spent on tickets was refunded to the soaked passengers, and the staff hurry up and wash every part of the boat to get it back up and running.
That must be a terrible shift to take. Everyone's just covered in straight doo-doo. There's doo-doo all over the fucking floors, all over like the roof and shit, dog. Like, oh my God, that would be a terrible day to work. Not gonna lie, I'm calling in sick. I see that shit, dog. I see that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm grabbing my arm, telling my nearest coworker to fucking bend the fuck out of that bitch. I'm telling that motherfucker to hit me with the meanest karate chop and slice that bitch in half. I don't care about the recovery. I'm not working that shit. Hey, you can fire me, bro. I'm hitting the dash. You can fire me, bro. What?
And you would think they would maybe shut down the ferry for the day, but no, they just cleaned up the boat and did another service at 3 o'clock. I can only imagine they thought, we'll give them a refund, they'll go take a shower, we'll be up and running for the next service, and nobody will ever think about this again. But unfortunately for them, this was already developing into a national news story.
It was like a down.
Imagine like you're a normal fucking Walgreens worker, some dude saw you in the news and you're like, you're that guy that got covered in shit! Oh, dude, look at shit face! Like, I genuinely feel like that's how it would be.
Captain Sonia Lund saw it, but passenger Mike Scarpelli was one of the people drenched in the deluge.
There were some older people on there that had limited mobility. They were doused from.
You're in a wheelchair. You look like fucking Joe Swatson. And then you're just sitting over here covered in shit. There's nothing you can do except for sit there and do nothing. You can't move around. The best you could do is this. But like you can't feel your legs and you're just covered in shit. Like you're just sitting there like, fuck. What am I gonna do about this? I can't even wipe my own ass. How am I supposed to do anything about me being covered in it? Shit. Like,
head to toe. Their hair was soaking wet, literally covered in urine and feces. There was a pregnant lady that could barely contain herself.
The crew knew exactly what to do. When they were alerted, they came back to the dock. The passengers, Bob Agram met them at the dock. The passengers disembarked. We gave them refund.
But Scarpelli doesn't remember it that
she said disembark. That is an educated white woman.
way. He says
She went to a fucking private school.
initially the tour guide gave them the option of turning around, and when dumbfounded, he told the guide to also call police. Scarpelli says the guide replied, "We're working on it."
No authorities ever got on the boat. There were no police present.
Pirates on a boat. Pirates on a boat, sorry.
Whether or not they came after the fact, I don't know.
The interviews after the incident sparked two different reactions: serious outrage and contagious laughter, because after all, poop is kind of funny.
Poop is funny. Hey, you find out that fucking 32 people went on a ferry and got covered in poo-poo, bro, everyone's laughing. Let's be so funny.
5 of the victims actually went to Northern Memorial Hospital for tests due to likely pre-existing conditions and the taste of black water still in their mouths. Exposure to this volume of sewage can
What are
cause
these
gastroenteritis.
Unc, do you have a SBC? Unc, do you have a BDC? Unc, do you have a BDC double question mark? Unc, do you have a small BC? Unc, do you have a BDC again? What the fuck?
Respiratory infections, skin infections, eye, ear, and sinus infections. You could get hepatitis A, UTIs, or even get parasites. An anonymous physician at the hospital even pointed it out that this was enough to shock experienced healthcare professionals. Working in the hospital care setting, when something strange or scary or gross or concerning happens, that's where you go. In general, we're used to it. We're kind of jaded. We're not very impressed with scenarios that would gross a layperson out. But this one was... people were talking about it for a long time afterward in the department.
I mean, like, obviously 10 people come to the doctor's office and they're just all covered in fucking feces.
Luckily, nobody would end up getting sick or suffering any long-term illnesses.
Oh, that's good. He used clean poop at least.
As far as we know, but the city of Chicago had to find the suspect as soon as possible to avoid more bad press. There were so many questions. Why would someone do this? Was it deliberate or accidental? How did the driver manage to dump waste in a way that would scatter over an entire ferry and over 100 people?
He had a lot of doo-doo.
Most importantly, who the hell was in that bus?
Some prankster. 2018 prankster, bro. You saw what Logan Paul was doing. I think there's someone hanging over there. Use that motherfucker for the thumbnail.
Chicago police had never conducted an investigation quite like this, but luckily they would discover a few key pieces of evidence that would eventually reveal the man who dumped 800 pounds of liquid turd. The
800 is fucking insane.
Poopgate investigation had officially started. The Illinois Attorney
You get fucking Dokes and Dexter on that bitch.
General
Morgan! Somebody's getting covered in feces tonight, and it ain't us. We're gonna shit on this guy. And I don't mean literally.
Lisa Madigan was out for blood to see what
Dokes would never say some shit like that.
environmental laws had been violated. The first key piece of evidence was the discovery of the make and model of the vehicle, a modified 2003 Monaco Royale coach. The bus was more
That motherfucker modded his bus so that way he could go and literally shit on people. What the fuck?
like a mansion on wheels.
$1 million mansion. $1 million mansion.
Luxury
Sorry.
Class A diesel pusher at 45 feet in length. It had its own large shower, master bedroom, and tile floors.
Damn!
These buses usually have 50 to 100 gallon waste tanks, meaning it was more than capable of holding a massive amount of poop. But this is where it gets very interesting. According to McNeil, I happened to meet a guy who had one, a luxury coach. He bought this tour bus that happened to be Bob Seger's at one time. And so I was like, hey, these buses, can you remotely dump the toilets? And he said, absolutely. He showed me all about how you can do it from the driver's seat. So the technology exists to dump the toilets from the road, from behind the wheel under power, and it's existed for a long time. But it's still unclear if the driver was able to do this with just the press of a button. It's likely that in order for the driver to successfully dump out the waste from this Monaco Royale, he would have had to park, exit the vehicle, and run around to the two valves present near the back of the bus. One valve was for the gray water that comes from sinks and showers, and the other valve was for black water packed with weapons-grade feces and fermented urine.
Okay, so was he doing the wrong thing or did he do it on purpose? Was this like meant to be or did he just fucking press the wrong button?
The Royale had a state-of-the-art Sanicon waste system, which could help liquefy solids and allow dumping with ease. All he had to do was flip the pump switch while the black water valve was pulled open, and the sewage would cascade down as the driver ran back to his seat and continued driving across the Kinsey Street Bridge.
Yo, this nigga's dead ass just a masterful dickhead, bro. This is like some shit that you would see in a movie.
Unfortunately for the suspect, law enforcement found their second piece of evidence from a surveillance photo that was able to confirm the Monaco Royale, which crossed the Kinsey Street Bridge at the same time the passengers were soaked. But the third key piece of evidence was a paper given to the authorities at the very start of their investigation. It was provided by one of the passengers at the back of the boat, who managed to write down both the state and license plate number as the sludge rained down on him. Police were shocked when they tracked the plate and discovered that the 2003 Monaco Royale belonged to a luxury tour bus for the Dave Matthews Band.
Who the fuck is Dave Matthews? I thought it was gonna be like some prank show. Like some failed and practical jokers ass show, dog. And they was just trying to do the wildest thing, and that's why they put shit all over everyone. He was the loser of the day, dog. He had to do something that might put him in jail.
And just like that, they found their first suspect, DMV bus driver
That nigga looks like he looks either gay or like he likes kids, bro.
Jerry Fitzpatrick.
I hear that you were the driver on the bus in Chicago that dumped.
Yeah, no, he doesn't look like he likes kids, actually. He just looks like a really old gay guy.
It's human waste.
You know, there was an incident of that happening, and I was in Chicago when that happened, but it was not me. I had nothing to do with it at all. I was accused
That motherfucker is lying out of his ass, right?
of it, actually.
It was your bus, right?
Because I'm driving a bus.
Yeah.
I was accused of it, and I just say that I didn't do that.
According to the Chicago Tribune, Fitzpatrick confirmed he was in Chicago with Matthews, whose band played the second of 2 shows at
I never did it, man. I never did it.
Alpine Valley in Wisconsin later that night. The driver said he was parked in front of the Peninsula Hotel.
Getting allegations. Does that mean we don't know who the fuck did this shit? We still don't know who did Poopgate?
When the waste rained down from the bridge several blocks away. Fitzpatrick told the press, "There is no way I could be responsible for that. I haven't emptied the tank for days. Besides, we are very cautious about how we do that sort of thing." They also felt the need to clarify to the press, this band is very environmentally conscious. And to further clear his name, Jerry actually pushed a police sergeant named Paul Gardner to inspect the bus. He even gave Sergeant Gardner his phone to tell a reporter that his tank was almost full. However, the band had a total of 5 buses parked outside the Peninsula Hotel, and authorities were unsure of which one was the dumper. A band as popular as the Dave Matthews Band will tour with multiple buses. One for the band members, maybe one for the crew.
He definitely just did that shit. I don't know why we don't think it's this guy, bro. He looks like the type to put shit on a whole bunch of people and then laugh like he's fucking Lester from GTA. Oh, that's a knee slapper right there.
And 2 or
Like he sounds like he looks like he laughs like fucking Ed from Good Burger.
3 for equipment, all traveling separately to keep everything running on time. The band was leaving the Alpine Valley Music Theater, which is 2 hours north of Chicago. Now, according to RVDumpsites.net, there are a few different places the band could have stopped to discard the waste from the bus. Then again, this happened over 20 years ago, so we don't know if any of these current locations were available back then. We do know that money was definitely not the problem, because even back then, it only cost about $10 to empty the tank. Upon further investigation, authorities managed to confirm the exact...
It's obvious that they wanted to do it to fuck with the people, bro. There's no way in hell that we're sitting here and we're talking about well, maybe they just did it because of cost. No, they wanted to shit on people.
Bus that did the dumping. One of the passengers was the band's violinist, Boyd Tinsley, and the driver was Stefan Wohl, which raised another question that we would never get an answer to. How could the tank possibly have 800 pounds of waste in it? The tour started in June. The average person produces less than 1 pound of waste per day. Since the bus was only occupied by 2 people, 2 months of use would still only be about 120 pounds in most extreme cases. Since the band had 5 different buses, and Dave says
I think they all did that shit together and they all just used the same fucking toilet. Like they would go back to back to back to make sure that the seat was still hot from the other person's ass. And then they would just all go, ah! Fucking no wiping, no nothing, just let it fucking crust. And then they get like the last bit of the crust, wipe that bitch, and then don't put it in there because they want to make sure that it's nothing but waste. Trust. I know what I'm talking about, bro. I'm a shit specialist.
Was not the one he was on. How was that tank full? They were either letting a lot of people go to the bathroom on this specific bus during tour stops, or that thing was backed up from previous tours months or even years ago. But getting information out of this band would...
I can tell based on how they described it, it wasn't fermented shit. It was new. It was all
be easy. They knew discussing the matter publicly would result in a PR nightmare, and telling the truth would make them guilty. The band spokesperson, John Vlotton, said, "Our driver has stated that he was not involved in this incident. We reserve judgment on anyone until we have seen the evidence. We have been..."
Hey, innocent till proven guilty. I believe in that. So maybe none of them did it. I'm just going to say that guy who kind of looked like a homosexual Albert Einstein probably did it.
And will continue to be cooperative in this investigation. However, once the 2-week investigation had ended, the Illinois Attorney General's office filed a lawsuit against them. The suit accused the band and driver of violating state environmental and nuisance laws, seeking $70,000 in fines
Okay, well, did they win the case? That's the difference. Did they win or did they lose?
And an evaluation of the band's waste disposal practices. And after confirming the surveillance footage, the Attorney General told the press, "I had the authority to enforce our state's Environmental Protection Act, and that's the main statute that we used. Surely it was a count of water pollution. Surely there was a count for discharging a contaminant into a waterway."
But how can you prove that they did it? Because you don't know who was driving the bus. Bro. What, just like Jay Oma said, bro. They're wealthy. They're doing good. So, like, and they're on tour and everything. Why would they do it? Other than for a joke. But you want to say that these famous people who are busy all the time are just trying to make a joke by doodling on people, even though they care about the environment? You can't say that. But I still do think the Albert Einstein guy did it.
Without a permit. And I think we may have also charged public nuisance.
Please don't sue me for defamation. That wouldn't be cool. Very not cool, yes.
It's a pretty broad statute, but those are the three things that we were able to bring. As soon as the video came out, any attempts to deny that evaporated. Chicago's Mayor Daley also made a statement, but it was a little tone deaf and strange. He called the dumping absolutely unacceptable, but also said that the Dave Matthews Band,
I totally thought he was about to say it was absolutely hilarious,
and was a very good band. The band's silence was heavily criticized, and eventually they felt the pressure to give a public statement, but they were reluctant to outright admit guilt. They did say that they care deeply about what happened and that they aren't attempting to avoid any responsibility they may have, and also that they didn't want to offend anyone. We have fully and voluntarily cooperated with the Chicago authorities.
Okay, so maybe they did do it. Maybe they got paid like $1,000. They were just like, hey, say you did this shit. We need to pin on somebody. That was like, shit. I guess, bro.
Since the moment we heard about the incident, we provided photographs of any buses they requested, and we offered to supply.
Hold up, quick side tangent. What's the first thing you're doing if you wake up as LeBron James? I'm checking the SMEEP. I gotta see if LeBron James is packing or if he's a fraud. It's that simple. And now I'm slapping the shit out of Bronny. That's my exact course of action.
By DNA evidence to determine if one of our buses was the bus involved. So were they trying to get poop samples? Our driver was the
and then I'm beating my shit as LeBron.
Only person on the bus during the period relevant to this matter, and he has told us that he had nothing to do with this incident. We have not seen any of the other evidence in this case, and we have a few narrow but critical questions related to what we have seen of the evidence in the media. The statement was long, perfectly vague, but unfortunately, it didn't help their case.
Some niggas are just lying. They definitely did this Poopgate shit, bruh. Also, Typesol is not out.
2 months after the incident, the Dave Matthews Band realized the evidence was too strong to avoid guilt any longer. The band and their legal team agreed to pay $200,000 to a fund for environmental protection and other supportive projects.
$200,000 because you put doo-doo all over everybody? Okay, if you're rich, it's worth, in my opinion. To be honest, it's worth, in my opinion, if you're no. If we're really like that, you know what I mean?
Projects. They also donated an additional $50,000 to the Friends of the Chicago River, who partly oversaw the ferry ride, and another $50,000 to the Chicago Park District. The group also agreed to keep records for the next 5 years, detailing where and when the waste tanks on its tour buses are emptied while in.
Having to have entire fucking logs, all because you wanted to just, you know, play a little prank is fucking insane. Yo, I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad.
Illinois.
But I also wouldn't put feces all over people, so maybe I'd have a reason actually to be mad.
As for the
maybe I would. I'm lying.
Drivers.
Maybe I wouldn't. I don't. If I'm ever in a area and a whole bunch of people have poop on them, I'm just saying that I might be a suspect, but don't think I 100% am. I'm not admitting guilt here and saying that I'm planning this ahead of time. I'm just saying that there's a chance that I might do that in the future, but it's unlikely.
Fawn Wall, he pled guilty to the crime of dumping waste onto the public and into the river. It was the first time he admitted it publicly, and he was sentenced to 18 months of probation, 150 hours of community service, and received a $10,000 fine. Many people believe this was a mere slap on the wrist. The dumping of sewage could have seriously affected the health of the 2 pregnant women on the ferry, as well as the young children and a baby, plus the wheel.
Man, fuck them kids. That's what he said in his country accent. Man, I'm straight from Texas, man. Oh, wait, no, he's not black. Fuck, I don't know how to do a country accent. Fuck, I'm too black.
Chair-bound people who couldn't escape the fallout. All of the money the band paid out went straight to the government, and nothing went to the actual victims. In fact, part of the
Man, that's because they think about it. They didn't get them on like a harassment thing, like they got doodle all over them. What they did was they decided to get it on environmental, meaning that they didn't affect the people, they just affect the water. So how are you gonna get reimbursed for that shit? Think about it. But if I get doodle on me, man, either A, you're getting a shotgun to your straight dome in GTA, or B, I'm suing your ass. I'm suing your ass.
Agreement was that the band was allowed to avoid admitting guilt in court, and it won a provision intended to make it more difficult for the tour boat operator and at least one passenger on the ill-fated cruise to use the settlements in their own lawsuits against the band. Like so many other things in life, ordinary people are the real victims, and the government gets a big payday. Now, this didn't prevent
government.
some
Oh yeah. One Tap by Chanel Father. And then look at the fucking look at the Israel edit.
passengers from taking the band to court.
Bro,
A woman by the name of Nancy M. Toder.
What's that? Wait, what's that one video called? I don't care about editing this out, bro. I'll try. I might. I'll think about it. I might think about editing it out. But what's that one video? And it's like,
the more I play NC.
Fuck. What's that one video? And it's like, it's like, human. Fuck. 2 hours at least. Human field. It shows the animation.
No, they ain't human, yeah, we blow them away. So shoot the shields, we should shoot the shields, the human shields. What do you do there? Come on, don't be ashamed. I was driving my Merkava tank. A half a dozen shields got stuck under my tread. I'm not sure if all of them were dead, but I'll go back again.
That's the government, bro. That's the fucking government. Donald Trump gave like $238 million to Israel.
Filed a lawsuit for emotional distress. She was celebrating her 46th birthday, and she claimed the waste.
I told you somebody was celebrating their birthday.
Entered her
tater tots and everything.
Eyes and mouth and covered her hair, clothing, and belongings. As a result, she suffered extreme nausea, vomiting, and related physical and emotional ailments and maladies, and continues to suffer severe emotional distress.
You are not suffering severe. Oh, continues, not. All you got was some lip poo on you, bro. What?
But it's unclear if she was ever able to reach a settlement. The only person who seems remotely apologetic from the band is Jerry Fitzpatrick, and he didn't have anything to do with it.
You know, it was a nasty mess. I couldn't imagine being the victim. I couldn't imagine that. This driver didn't use his head. He caused a lot of problems. You know, it's a matter of stopping at a regular place, hooking your hose up, and flipping that switch on your dash to letting it go in the proper place, and he didn't do that.
In May of 2005, the Dave Matthews Band attempted to prove they actually care for the environment in one of the worst ways possible.
They decided to recycle.
Dave Matthews and Boyd Tinsley joined up with Ben and Jerry's to fight global warming.
Ben and Jerry? Like the ice cream? The ice cream?
With the release of an ice cream called Dave Matthews Band Magic Brownies. In 2009, Dave Matthews himself spoke about the incident on the Cara Caravu podcast. He said, "The bus driver lost his job and I didn't have my finger on the button, but it was one of our buses, wasn't mine, but it was one of the buses in my employment, and so I feel bad about it." He added, "It would be funnier if it were anyone else but me." Over time, the more serious aspects of Poopgate have been largely forgotten, and today it's laughed off as one big joke.
It kind of is. It was always one big joke. Let's think about it, bro. It's a bunch of people covered in feces, dog. Come on.
I think until maybe the day I die, I'll always be hesitant to walk under a bridge, or at least travel under a bridge. I definitely...
That guy loves pizza and burgers.
Have a unique collection of colognes and deodorants, and I always have some baby wipes on me. And
why wouldn't they just jump into the water? Why did no one jump into the water to get all the doo-doo off?
Lots of Purell.
Fake commemoration plaques have been zipped.
I don't think he knows what that word means. He just like said it 3 times.
tied to the bridge to facetiously honor its history. The Chicago hideout actually threw a dance party to celebrate the 20th anniversary. Even the Chicago Bulls organization has put in efforts to act like this incident was something the city should pay its respects to. But the Dave Matthews Band does not lean into the jokes. They remain pretty silent about the situation to this day. After all these years, we still don't really have a true motive as to why Stephon Wool did this. It's hard to imagine it was a pre-planned elaborate prank, but rather that he was just too lazy to empty the waste tank at a dump site. If there's any lesson to be learned from Poopgate, it's that what's traumatic for us in the moment is almost always something we can laugh about with friends in the future.
So what I learned from this video is don't ride a ferry or you're gonna get shit on. GG. Holy fuck.